Hey guys, here I am again. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cable management and basically managing your cell phones and having kind of the easiest going setup that you possibly can have. And whenever I first started making money with smartphones and computers, it definitely has been a learning process along the way. You know, I went from having my phones, and I still do have a few phones that are laid out across the table, but that's how they all were in the very beginning. They just were sprawled out all over the place. The cords are just kind of everywhere. I would go to sit here and mess with the phone, and there would be a cord across the phone, which, sitting here trying to do anything with your phone, I can understand if you are basically, rooting your phones, but for the person that's starting off in this and does not understand how to root a phone, or for the person who has a phone that they cannot root, that's a key point to make. If they're making money with that phone and they can't root it, it can still be pretty difficult. So having your cables managed the right way is, a lot of people I know that are doing this, they already know these things. So this is a very, very, if you already have a setup with 30 phones, just go ahead and swipe away and figure this stuff out for yourself, because I know that you can. So, but at the same time, for the people that are starting in this, it's not the easiest thing to maybe understand, as far as your options whenever keeping your cables close together. To give you the best advice that I possibly can, I started off with basically investing in power strips, which was the cheapest thing I possibly could find. Your power strips in comparison to your USB hubs, which are right around between $15 and $20 in comparison to your power strips, which are roughly like $7, $8, $10, and you can get 2 of those in a package deal at Walmart, which gives you anywhere from 5 to 6 ports per each one, gives you anywhere from 10 to 12 ports for you to be able to plug in your cell phone, assuming that you have the chargers to go with. Something to be wary of, and basically something that could cause you a lot of frustration. If you're buying cheaper smartphones, you have quite a few chargers that you may pick up that will be, here's a great example. Actually, I have a basket of chargers down here. Look at that. That's huge. That is massive. When trying to plug into, a power strip versus having the USB chargers and the USB hubs, you're going to have a major issue hooking up so many different chargers that are way too clunky and bulky. So either which way it goes, though, if you're buying phones online, they're going to come with the charger. That's one. So you would have to still invest in another charger, a USB charger, then the USB port hub, and having decent ones with 10 to 20 ports. Usually around 10 ports is around $20, and that's a decent deal. So it's like $2 per port if you think about it like that. Whereas if you were to pick up the power strips, you would be getting 6 ports. So roughly 2 of those 6 port power strips gives you 12 ports. And then for $7, so for $14 you would get 24 ports. 24 ports plus maybe if you spent the additional $6-7, you would sit there with spending $21, which is around the same that you spent for that USB power hub. You would be getting more. So going cheap when you're first starting to do this, as far as running applications to make money with, that is the most logical scenario for someone that's just starting. Now, when you branch out to where you're making $300 to $400, $500, and you can shell out the $20, go ahead and shell out the $20, which is pretty much the area that I'm about to be getting into. I spent a lot of money on having fun, just having lots of fun, And now I'm at this point where I'm about ready to reinvest some of that money into having some better phones, having those USB port hubs, and basically fine-tuning everything. Having everything a lot more user-friendly. And let's go ahead and show you guys my cable scenario, which still is pretty crazy. Now keep in mind, I did say that I will be switching everything over, so we'll get down here. So I went the power strip route. Versus investing a lot of money at first, I invested as little money as possible. So you can still see that my cables, as far as having everything close and compact, I do not have any phones that go any lower than this. So I kind of let these ones go. But everything else is put together with, as far as cords, is put together with just twist ties. Every time you open up a new phone, you're going to have basically a twist tie that comes with it. So I'm constantly reminded of Unbox Therapy whenever, I don't know if you guys have watched that on YouTube. He has the silica gel packets that he's constantly pulling out of the boxes. So I think about these twist ties just like that. They're silica gel. They're like the silica gel packets, the twist ties, and I'll toss them off to the side. I don't have a cameraman or camera, whoever it might be. I don't know if that's been proven yet, if Jack is an actual person. But yeah, but you can see my setup. This is what it looked like in the very beginning. Whenever I only had so many phones, I would have them laid out as neat as possible, with twist ties once again to keep the cords compact and all together. And this is what I'm working towards, is having everything mounted up here, 2 whiteboards. And I'm not sure, I may take this shelving system and drill some holes in the shelves over here, basically so I can just have all the cords running through the back. I mean, it's kind of an endless list of options. I've seen so many different scenarios. I've seen a guy, he had I believe he had, what is it, you see them at like supermarkets. You'll see the boards with so many different holes in them so they can display different items, which I thought that was very ingenious. Just to already have holes there for you to be able to line your cords through. And you might have to maybe make just like a little extra room. But like I said, there's countless different options here. I would just say that for the person that's starting out doing this, look, go cheap. Go cheap. I don't care what anybody tells you, because right now, your goal is to get to where you're making a lot of money really quickly. And let's think about it like this. In a lot of ways, this money is pretty much free. It's free money. So if you're spending, let's just say hypothetically that you have, 6, 12, 18, 20, 24, 30, roughly, 30 ports is all you're going to need. So, you take that in, six ports at a time. You do the math on that and you're getting two for the price of $7-8, and then you try and do the math on $20 for a USB hub, and finding that USB hub that has a bunch of buckload of freaking ports. You do the math on that and see the money that you would save. And like I said, I may only invest in so many of these USB hubs. I may keep a lot of my power strips, which are working perfectly for me. I don't really need to switch everything over. That's another thing you can think about. This is good enough. It's good enough. Plus you've saved some money. So as long as you can get things to where they're convenient for you, and basically if you like a tangled mess, that's okay too. I don't. I will eventually branch out to having everything tucked away to where I cannot even see it, and that's something that will happen. I should bring up Velcro, as far as if you don't want to use twist ties, you can find Velcro straps, and basically for cable management. look around. If you're a techie, you probably have a bunch of these already, especially if you've had some Ethernet cords. Bought a few of them. They usually come, or just like different tech will come with Velcro straps, so you could try that route if you don't want to do it very janky. And twist ties, they require you to sit here and untwist them. So just kind of, this is one of those things that's yours, and that's what's so great about this. There's so many opportunities to have fun with this at the same time that you're making money. So yeah, if anybody has any comments, just leave them below. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if there's something that you feel like you could point out to me that I have not seen yet, as far as a USB hub that's super cheap, please let me know. But yeah, if anything at all, like my video if you found it somewhat useful. If you didn't find it useful, I guess that's okay too. I'm just here floating around the internet. That's it.